at halftime.
Taylor, thank you very much. One ticket to the championship game remains to be punched in Charlotte. Virginia safely into the final. Next up, the #1 team in the country is on tap.
You can feel it in your chest, in the building. Pulse racing, arena shaking.
Oh yeah!
Champ Week.
This is Champ Week on ESPN, presented by Principal. You're watching the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by T. Rowe Price. Our second semifinal on the way. The top seed Duke Blue Devils and the 5 seed Clemson Tigers in tomorrow's ACC Championship game. Our bracket just about set. Virginia with an impressive performance against Miami. They ran away and hid in their semifinal, so the #2 seed is in. Now Duke and Clemson looking to slap their names on the victory side of the bracket, which they love to do. Welling may be injured, but he got the honors. A great moment for Clemson, a late surge to advance to the semis. And then later on, Cam Boozer leading the Duke Blue Devils to a scintillating 1-point victory. Isaiah Evans had 32 in a win for the Duke Blue Devils. Dave O'Brien alongside Corey Alexander, also Molly McGrath. Great to be with you, one step away from the championship.
Absolutely. Virginia punching its ticket to its ACC Tournament Final, and Ryan Odom's first year looking to take on one of these two teams that are still playing for a lot.
Now Duke with a thrilling win. They escaped with a 1-point victory. Could very easily have gone the other way for a red-hot Florida State team last night.
Absolutely. And when you come down to the last possession of the game, Florida State doing the job defensively, blocking the shot of the National Player of the Year frontrunner Cameron Boozer. Robert McCray V, an opportunity to win it for Florida State. Unable to get it to go, but it was that close to the Blue Devils taking a bow out of the ACC tournament in the conference quarterfinal.
Of course, Foster and Gungba out with foot injuries, but Boozer and Evans showed up a big way again. 32 for Isaiah Evans, and Cam Boozer just doing what he does, 23 and 10.
He's doing what he does. However, he's going to have to bring his brother along with him. OB, I believe Florida State may have given away the blueprint as to how you defend Duke, especially without Caleb Foster and Patrick Gungba. When you look at this, look at everyone overloading one side of the floor, the side of the floor that has Evans and Boozer. You know the basketball is going to one of those two guys, and you see Somerville does not even pay attention to either Caden Boozer or Dame Sarr on the opposite side. Two defenders there to defend Cameron Boozer on the last attempt. No one there to bother with either of these guys on the opposite side, blocking the shot and setting up Florida State for an opportunity to win at the buzzer.
And bring in Molly McGrath. Molly?
Well, OB, last night when Duke was down by 8 points in the quarterfinal, players were telling each other we have to find a way to get a win for Caleb Foster and Patrick Gungba. Dame Sarr told us they refused to let their absence be an excuse, saying we're Duke. We're expected to win everything. This is about pride. Clemson also playing for something greater. They're dedicating these games to center Carter Welling, who you mentioned is out with a torn ACL.
Well, that happened in their first game of the tournament. He's been a very tall cheerleader since then at 6'11", and lending his support. Tigers coming in at 24 and 9. They knocked North Carolina out of the ACC tournament last night, 80-79. Amazingly identical scores for both of the winners in the quarterfinals, 80-79. Duke picked up their 30th win last night. They have won 18 games in ACC play. Without two starters, Caleb Foster out with that right foot fracture and the surgery, out for the foreseeable future, and big man Patrick Gungba dealing with lingering foot soreness. Neither will play in this tournament. Duke trying to survive without them, and Clemson wins the opening tip. Tigers had just one double-figure score in their win over Wake Forest, and then 6 of them against North Carolina last night. Wallin leaning into a long one and a misfire.
And Wallin aggressive early in this game, wanting to allow the Blue Devils to know that he's willing to take that three, but you're going to have to make some of them if you're going to beat the #1 team in the country.
John Mason, outstanding freshman defender in particular. They'd love to get a little more offense out of him, as that one is tipped out of play. Tigers, the 5 seed. They built up an 18-point lead that Carolina almost came all the way back from last night.
Yeah, Carolina just ran out of time. You know, give Hubert Davis and his staff a lot of credit for the way they executed down the stretch, with Brad Brownell's team stepping up and making a heady play to miss the free throw at the end as Evans kicks the basketball to keep Clemson from getting out and running. Although it's a turnover, it's a very smart play on Evans' part.
Give you a look at Malik Brown there, pushing and shoving on Godfrey.
Well, and again, you only have one option with Godfrey. The physicality will be there between both these guys throughout the night. Malik Brown more than up to the challenge. The ACC's Defensive Player of the Year, taking an even bigger challenge this evening.
Yeah, big night last night for him on the glass. He had 12 rebounds. Trying to get it downstairs. There's Brown stepping right into the lane.
And that's going to go Clemson's, Duke's direction. Malik Brown once again making not one, but 2 great defensive plays. So one, get the deflection, and then the smart play to throw it off of R.J. Godfrey, getting the basketball back for the Blue Devils.
Seems to get his hands on everything.
He leads the Blue Devils in deflections, over 5 a game.
Evans with it. Bouncing for Cam Boozer, ACC Player of the Year. Saw getting it in the lane and tipped out of play by Clemson. We'll see if Isaiah Evans can have the kind of night he had last night against Brad Brownell's team. 316 wins for Brad, the most in program history. What a job he's done. Stolen away by Waleed.
And numbers for Clemson.
The bounce speed, and Godfrey knows exactly what to do with it. Averaging 12 points a game.
And that's an area of concern. When you turn the basketball over, you have to take advantage of those opportunities. When you play against Duke's set defense, it can make life difficult. You got to take care of the fast break point.
Caden Boozer trying to bounce inside, does nicely for 2.
Aggressive attack by Caden Boozer, and that's really where he's going to have to live, in the painted area. Don't fall for the dare of shooting the jumper.
And again, slapped away by Brown. As John Shire has called him, a defensive menace. ACC Coach of the Year said after last night's 1-point win, no excuses. We've got to step up with the team we have. What they don't have is 19 points, 10 rebounds between those 2 guys, Gunba and Foster. We can only sit and watch here in this ACC tournament. Buckner feeding Godfrey out top. Long distance shot will rim out. Off target was Butta Johnson. A good night last night. All the Tigers did. A feed inside to Cam Boozer, and he'll draw the foul. He drew a bunch of them last night.
He did. He does every game. And when you consider the fact that you're playing without Carter Welling for Clemson, you can't afford to continue to send Cameron Boozer to the free throw line time and time again.
Welling, of course, coming off a tragic moment, tragic basketball-wise, certainly, as he tore up the knee the other night. He was playing well. Key guy for them, a starter. So that shrinks their rotation from 10 to 9.
But Brad Brownell relies on all 9 of those rotation players, and it's one of the reasons why Clemson has an advantage in this tournament and in this game, because they have a much deeper roster. Duke playing 6 to 7 guys now. That's all they really have as far as healthy bodies to be able to compete, trying to win 3 games in 3 days.
Yeah, played 7 last night. Johnson will back it out. Long and off target. Ace Buckner with the miss. Duke on top by 1. Evans. Cam Boozer wants to take it to the paint. Aaron pass picked off by the Tigers. 3 turnovers already for Duke.
And a normally a very short-handed team, especially when you consider Malik Brown and Cameron Boozer take care of the basketball very well and great distributors, but asked to do a lot without their starting point guard.
Dylan Hunter left open from 3-point land. That won't drop. Boozer keeps it alive nicely. Back to Evans on the tap. Evans launching. Got up to a very quick start yesterday. Third team all ACC. It was 11 out of 20 and hit 7 triples. And they needed every one of those points yesterday.
Another deflection by Malik Brown. But yeah, you talk about Isaiah Evans, absolutely quick start. He made 3 field goals and had 2 assists on the other 2 in Duke's first 5 field goals in the game.
Foul with 16-17 to go. Caleb Foster, Patrick Gungba side by side. Unfortunately, that's all they can do is kind of talk to each other and cheerlead a little bit.
That's normally the way it works, OB. It's always the big guy trying to convince the point guard of something. And you can see by Caleb Foster's reaction, he's not falling for whatever it is that Patrick Gungba's trying to sell.
Not even a little bit. But both intense. Thompson with a triple. Yes. Hey, they hit 9 in the first half yesterday.
Now 1 of 4 to start the game, but from Brad Brownell, you see that they are going to do their best to get the opportunities from beyond the 3-point arc.
Boozer on Davidson, past him and draws another foul. He seems intent to get a lot of these Tigers in foul trouble quickly. Clemson on top, 5-3, under 16 in our first time out. ACC Tournament Semifinal number 2. The winner will take on the Virginia Cavaliers. Will it be the Tigers or the Blue Devils? ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Clemson with a 5-3 lead here in the first 4 minutes or so of this one. Our second semifinal of the day. ACC last 5 champs. Duke won it last year. Trying to repeat as regular season and ACC tournament champ.
And Clemson never winning an ACC tournament championship. They've been to the championship game, the final twice, 1962 and 2008. But yet to be able to hoist that trophy, looking to do so this season.
Cam Boozer at the line, have another one coming. He makes 78%. Brad Brownell, 317 wins. Was also Clemson's 98th victory since 2022. That is a 4-year record for Clemson. So that's how good Brownell and the Tigers have been.
And second in the ACC only to the Duke Blue Devils. So when you look at this Clemson program and you talk about the last 4 years, you've seen excellence. And you go back to a season ago where Clemson was the only team to beat Duke in the ACC regular season. And it was also only Clemson and Duke that got wins in the ACC SEC Challenge.
Buckner with Dame Sarr hounding him. Going to be a foul here with 15:28 to go. That was with just 7 on the shot clock. So a bit of a bailout. And the foul will go up against Sarr, the freshman, with his first.
And Buckner attacking the physicality, and there's the foul. It wasn't on the bump. It was when Sarr was falling down, reaching out, grabbing the arm. Great job by AJ Desai, right on top of that call, recognizing.
So Buckner to the line, one of the better foul shooters for Clemson, 81%. The crew, Clarence Armstrong, AJ Desai. Outstanding group here for the semifinal. Buckner, look at the improvement over the last 14 games, particularly shooting the 3-point shot.
Redshirt freshman, and you see the growth and also the trust and confidence that Brad Brownell has in Ace Buckner, now inserting him into the starting lineup at times, trusting him with the basketball in his hands.
Nick Commandia, freshman for Duke, now into the game. He played 29 minutes against Florida State. Nice little scoop shot there by Caden Boozer.
And that's the answer for Caden Boozer. He doesn't have to take those dare shots when teams play off of him. He has the strength to be able to finish at the rim. He's shown it off twice already in this game.
Justin Porter is their top 3-point gunner. Off for Buckner to drive it. On Commandia, pulls up. Left the defender behind. It's tipped in anyway.
I believe someone from Duke actually tipped that in, but I think Thompson gets the credit for it.
Thompson did. He got credit for it anyway. Duke So far getting it done in the paint. All 7 of their points have come in the lane. It's Boozer and Boozer. Harris gives it up. Shot clock to 10. And a foul on the baseline. With Clemson leading at 9-7. So who scored this?
Let's see as it goes up. I do believe that would be the hand of one Caden Boozer that was last on it. Thompson did get in there, so he gets credit for it. But it looked as though that was Caden's hand going for the defensive rebound that scored the bucket.
Like his twin brother, a McDonald's All-American, together they won 4 consecutive state championships and a national championship. Swished in, nice touch there by Jimenez.
And once again, Cameron Boozer, recognizing how defenses are guarding him, finds the open man, and Jimenez, another McDonald's All-American, stepping up and making his first shot of the game.
Godfrey not to be denied, using his strength. 4 points for RJ. So the Tigers by 1. Caden Boozer keeps the dribble. Now fires. Can't connect.
You got to be so careful around Malik Brown. Even with the defensive rebound, he's right there to try to just tap it away, get another deflection to see if his team can come up with the basket.
I think menace is a very apt description, isn't it?
It absolutely is that.
Buckner too strong. Cam Boozer with the rebound. Gets 10 a game. He said last night was an ugly win. He said, we'll take it. But one of the uglier wins of the season for Duke.
Better to win ugly than lose pretty any day.
Trying to play their way into the championship yet again. Boozer has to chase that. He'll step back and fire. Yes, sir. And a three-pointer.
And you feel as though you won the battle. R.J. Godfrey did a tremendous job standing up to Boozer in the physicality. But Cameron Boozer just has the skill. Okay, you won that battle. Let me step back here and show you what else I can do.
He started off with 6 points so far tonight. 41% from 3. Talk about a well-rounded game. Thomas fired it over his shoulder. Godfrey thought it got tipped, but that's not the ruling. It'll be Duke ball.
Jimenez finding Caden Boozer off the screen. Cameron setting a big screen for his twin brother, allowing him to get downhill in the reverse layup. Much better start for Caden Boozer in his second ACC tournament game. 4 points for him already. Efficient 2 of 3 from the floor. Got in foul trouble early in the quarterfinal matchup.
Dan Boozer going strong, draws another foul. That is the early narrative in this one. Brownell disgusted.
Well, and Brad Brownell is the question, how do you guard this guy? And it's the same question that every opponent has asked, and yet no one has figured it out, because he's 6'9", he's 250 pounds. He's strong as an ox, but he has a handle like a point guard. So therefore, he can get to his spots. He puts so much pressure on opponents' defenses, especially as he gets into the painted areas.
North Carolina had success with him. Of course, Caleb Wilson was healthy. He was playing really well at that time.
You know what was the successful part? He got 2 fouls early and had to sit down, because that's the only way they really were able to defend him as well.
Get him in trouble.
Get him in foul trouble.
Seems to be the only way. At the line. So he has 8 points. Brother Caden with 4 points. So the Boozers, as they need to do, showing up in a big way in the semifinal. The Duke playing shorthanded. The feed underneath. Hunter will kick it back out for Porter. Got it. Great ball movement there.
And great find by Dylan Hunter. And recognizing as Isaiah Evans rotates over that Justin Porter would be wide open.
That's going to go the other way. Although Sarr would like them to take a look.
And at this juncture of the game, I'm not sure that John Shire would even use his challenge.
He's taking a look at the pad.
He is going to use it.
And Dante Sarr was adamant about this.
But here's the concern for Brad Brownell. Why do you wait? How is it that it takes that long to get the basketball inbounds to give Shire enough time to get back to his bench to get the okay to challenge?
Duke by 1.
Tom and Zubin here in the studio. The magical run for Ole Miss continues thanks to this block at the SEC tournament.
Well, and it's such a tough place with LeBaron Fineline to give it to Aiden Sherrill there, man. Shoot the ball. That's a tough place to try to finish a game.
Guys.
How many of the SEC can you get in? 10, 11, 12?
It will be somewhere around that number and definitely double digits. But Ole Miss, the 15th seed, trying to pull off.
Well, the challenge here, successful challenge by Shire and Duke. This was a no-brainer, but it goes Duke's way. Very obvious.
It is an obvious call on the challenge. The concern is the fact that Jon Scheyer had to challenge it, and more importantly, why they had so much time to deliberate on it in comparison to the officials just giving the basketball to Clemson and actually continuing to play.
So Duke retains the timeout. They'll have one more challenge available. With the new rule this year, 8 seconds now to get off a shot as Harris had it knocked away.
And Brad Brownell may end up challenging this. It looks as though the basketball was stripped. And A.J. Morris is going to look at it. They're going to decide not to, but it looked as though the basketball went off the foot of Harris.
He's right in front of their bench. Over the top. Brown will kick it out. Here's Evans. Around and out, and Clemson corrals the rebound.
Malik Brown right at the rim. He could have laid that one in. Decides to pass it out for the three.
So Clemson can take the lead right here. The bounce for Davidson. He's coming off a big game. 17 points, 11 rebounds. And last night's win in the quarterfinals. Hunter with a shot clock to 5. Wallin is way away from the basket. And it's knocked away in the deflection, and Duke will take over.
And these are the type of offensive possessions that drive Brad Brownell crazy. Over dribbling as the shot clock goes down. And it was really more so beforehand. Great job by Amenya getting a hand of that basketball, knocking it off of Wallin. But the over dribbling was more earlier with Dylan Hunter at the top of the key.
Both of these teams stingy with the ball. They don't much. Amenya almost lost it on a hard pass. Gets himself into the lane. Can't convert it. Fight for the rebound, and it will be Clemson ball. Tigers only turned it over 4 times against Wake Forest, and then only 7 times last night. And 2 times so far tonight, so they do a really good job keeping the rock. Porter penetrates. Tipped out of play by Duke. And Cam Boozer back on now for Jon Scheyer. Davidson. Johnson will fire, and he'll draw a foul. He's headed the line to shoot 3. And fouled by Malik Brown. Will pick up his second. The third team foul. 10:40 to go in the half. And let's go to Molly.
Well, in their last time out, Duke's Jon Scheyer told his team, I'm seeing way too much one-on-one. This is not who we are. We got to fight harder for shots in the paint. And if you don't have anything, be patient. Makes the extra pass and then attack. That is who we are.
Absolutely. But you consider also that Jon Scheyer's playing with a different deck than he has all season long. And you consider you don't have the shooting on the floor of Caleb Foster. You don't have the interior presence or also the passing at the top of the key with Patrick Gumba, which takes away a lot of your cutting action. So you're having to limit what you can do. It's almost as though you have a reserve quarterback in the game. You have to cut the package down of all the plays done right now. And Jon Scheyer is dealing with that on the fly.
Excellent point about Gumba, too, because he's a really willing passer. Another guy who can find the open man for Duke. So far, Evans has been pretty quiet. Up top for Cam Boozer. Shot clock to 9. Working on Davidson. Amenya pulling his way in close. And it's going to be out of play, tipped off of the Tigers.
But part of the reason why Duke is having to play so much one-on-one is because of Clemson's defense. The rotations have been on point, and what they're doing is making it difficult for the guys that they want to have the ball playing one-on-one, like a Cameron Boozer, to be able to really get any driving lanes.
Look at the shot clock now, 1.8. So not much time for Duke to get off a shot here with 10 minutes to go before halftime. And what so far has been a low-scoring first half. And they're going to try a wet spot here on the floor. That's one of the reasons for the delay. This is actually blood on the floor.
And this is a free timeout for John Shire. They've got the gloves out, infection control, but what this does with 1.8 seconds on the shot clock, it's an advantage to John Shire, who gets an opportunity to draw up a play.
We'll take the break. We're back in 30 seconds. 16-50, Clemson on top by 1. All right, they've reset it to 2.2 seconds for Duke. In for Evans, quick shot, and too strong. Bunnell thought Cam Boozer was over the back. He was howling for a foul there.
Yeah, a lot of people in the building wearing orange that thought the same thing right there. But one thing I will give the officials, they're allowing them to play on both ends of the floor. We've seen contact on both sides, and as long as you're consistent, that's all the officials, the coaches can ask.
It's been the case all through this tournament, hasn't it, here in Charlotte with all of the crews that let them play. Davidson looking to make a move, steps back, and that's going to be well short.
But that's not the shot that Brown wants to see from his team. You've got Davidson, who is capable of making the standstill threes, but step backs against Dame Sarr is not a recipe for success.
Dame Sarr catches, shoots, buries it. Three-pointer, he sticks that.
He's really been shooting the basketball with much more confidence as of late, picking up his offensive game as his defense continues to excel.
Shire said he is the best perimeter defender I think I've ever coached.
Yeah, we talked to him and he said that, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, you got Malik Brown on your team, and then he looks and says, yeah, Malik's my best defender. But on ball, we go on Dame Sarr.
Here's Porter from the corner. He can't answer. Boozer will flip it ahead for Sarr. Taking on Hunter and lost his balance. The ball free, and the Tigers come away with it.
And they have numbers. Sarr still down the backcourt, but Davidson's jogging down the floor. Clemson, with an opportunity, gave Sarr a chance to get back into play without pushing it. When you got an advantage against the Blue Devils, you don't want to play against their half-court defense. It's too good.
And they missed a chance. Butta Johnson. Wallin catches. Can't hit it. Rebound comes to Boozer. It's Sarr again. Let's see what happens on this one. As he'll draw the foul. Got blocked, but a foul. With 8:19 on the clock. Virginia has played their way resoundingly into the finals after a great semifinal win earlier today. Foul on this play will go against Dylan Hunter. Cavaliers look terrific. Got it rolling, and now they're scouting this one.
Yeah, live scout, the best way to get it done. To be able to pick up on not only the actions, but some of the calls. And so it gives you a chance to be able to recognize what either of these teams are going to do before they even get into their offense or their defensive calls. Virginia did not play Clemson in the regular season, and they did play against the Blue Devils, and it did not turn out well for them at Cameron just a couple of weeks ago, February the 28th. So I know the Hoos will be looking for an opportunity to get back with the Blue Devils.
Sarr missing the second one, a whistle there. 8:19 to go.
Clemson right now, a 2-minute and 20-second scoring drought, OB. We're talking about the two best defensive teams in the ACC. Duke, one of the best nationally, third in the nation in scoring defense, giving up just over 62 points per game. Clemson at 66.5. right behind them in ACC play.
The menu with the foul, by the way. 1916 Duke. Tigers with the ball. Buckner turning to fire. And Menu high up for the rebound. Neither team able to go on an extended run yet. Caden Boozer flips it up short. Godfrey with the board. Buckner to push the tempo. Slithers that pass downstairs for Godfrey. He converts, and he has 6.
Nice play by Ace Buckner, and Godfrey sealing his man, even though that pass was in tight spaces. Great communication between the two to make it happen.
Godfrey, a great story. He was on their Elite 8 team a couple years ago. Then he transferred to Georgia and came back after 1 year. Really missed his time with the Tigers and being coached by Brad Brownell.
Nice hands by Godfrey on that possession. Brad Brownell looking to the bench to see if it's challenge worthy, realizing that it is not, as the Blue Devils have a 1-point lead. And you get a look at all the many legends that this tournament has hosted. Some of the greatest to ever play this game.
We've got you covered on Selection Sunday once again, all starting at 6 Eastern with SportsCenter and ESPN. Recent the guys looking at the men's field of 68, the brackets followed by bracketology. And at 8 o'clock, the women's field of 68 will be revealed with a complete breakdown of every one of the matchups beginning at 9 Eastern. All coming up on Sunday.
Exciting times for so many different student athletes. Both these teams are pretty certain they will be in the NCAA. The Blue Devils pretty certain that they will be opening up in Greenville on Thursday as a #1 seed. Question becomes, are they the #1 overall seed?
Now, with a loss here in this tournament cost them the overall #1. Evans with the shot clock winding down. Second chance, though, tipped out to Boozer. Harris about for Caden Boozer, and inside. Nice move for 2.
Nice touch by Caden Boozer, attacking the paint. And once again, not settling for the jump shot. I'm sure he had a conversation with Jon Scheyer after yesterday's game to let him know you can still be in attack mode. Even if players are playing off of you, you can still get to the rim and finish.
And it's 3 for 9 in that Duke victory. Lean off the fake. Johnson won't wait. And that didn't touch a thing. So Duke up by 3 and the ball as we approach the 6-minute mark here in the first half. Harris got a look. All net. It's actually the biggest lead tonight for Duke as they're up by 6.
Darren Harris built a lot of confidence in that Notre Dame game after Duke beat Michigan. He didn't play in the Michigan game and then had a career-high 16 points against Notre Dame. He's been in the rotation ever since and giving the Blue Devils good minutes off the bench.
Godfrey, and that's going to go the other way. A foul against Clemson.
OB immediately, as we see Harris coming off the screen, Butta Johnson tries to go under. You can't do that against a shooter. And he knocks it down to the delight of his head coach, Jon Scheyer. But immediately after R.J. Godfrey pushes off and gets that foul, Cameron Boozer looks to his bench and holds up the #2. He understands he just picked up the 2nd foul on Godfrey in this game.
Godfrey a key. One for catches, fires, no. Another whistle. That foul on Duke. Boozer pleading his case. And he'll pick up #1. Working on Clarence Armstrong over there.
CC Boozer and another guy over there hanging out. Happen to be a pretty good player. National champion.
Pretty darn good. Hunter. Cam Boozer guarding him. On one leg, he can't stick it. And Jimenez with the rebound.
Those were shots that Dylan Hunter was making in their quarterfinal matchup yesterday against North Carolina. Unable to get it going thus far. 0 for 2 from the field.
Boozer zips it to Evans, who's 0 for 4. He'll draw the foul. All of those have been 3-point attempts, so he's off to a chilly start.
Tell you what, that is a fast recovery. Ace Buckner sprinting out to try to run Isaiah Evans off of the three-point line, and that's what you do when the guy makes 7 three-pointers the night before. You don't want to give him any easy look.
So Evans, third team all ACC. He's their best foul shooter, 86%. He'll drop in number 1.
John Sire called him automatic. He wants them to drive the basketball more, get to the free throw stripe. He said he's automatic at the line. No way he should ever be passive on the perimeter. They're going to run him off the line because he can shoot so well. Has to stay in attack mode getting downhill.
2 for 2 there. 7-0 run for Duke. Tigers know this very, very well. It's a dangerous spot that they're in right now. Hunter will kick it off the big. Evans commits the foul as he bit and Johnson went down. Evans with his first foul.
I'm just glad Isaiah Evans popped up from that fall so quickly. That looked ugly from here.
So the Tigers to put it in at the baseline, trailing 26-18. And Ace Buckner. His dad once starred for Clemson. There's Davidson. Bodying up against Boozer. Determined to get that hook up there, but he can't connect.
But you can't move Boozer. That's the problem. You can't get any. You can't gain ground against him. He's strong enough in his lower body to be able to keep you from moving him backwards.
He's like a tree trying to move him. Emenya. Under 4.5 to go. Bounce speed. And count it. Emenya with a fine pass off a hesitation.
A great cut and a nice find to find Caden Boozer, who's made his 4th field goal of the first half. 8 points already for Caden Boozer, and he doesn't stand around waiting for the basketball along the three-point line. Cutting, making himself available for a nice find, and completes the three-point play.
Hunter with his second foul. So here's that zone so many teams find themselves in. Last 5 minutes before halftime of the first in the second half against Duke. That's going to be Harris holding up Porter and committing the foul with 4:13 to go. And they'll be 1-1. So the Tigers headed for the line. Brad Brownell has seen his team slip behind by 11.
And it's been Duke's defense. Outside of Florida State, who scored 87 against Duke in their regular season matchup, 79 in their matchup last night. No one else is really able to get their offense going in the manner they used to against the Blue Devils. They have held their opponents under their scoring average 28 times this season.
Porter rounding out with that one. Evans with the rebound. 10-point lead for Duke and the ball. Boozer up to set the screen. And Evans left it behind. And a foul committed as well. A little frustration there. So we're under 4 and a timeout. Duke on top 29-19. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let our expertise round out yours.
Welcome back to Spectrum Center, where the lights are shining bright, and we got a showdown, second semifinal of the day between Duke and Clemson. We're going to talk about the Boozer brothers coming up on your Sargento halftime report. Taylor Tannenbaum alongside all of my national champions. We got a lot of B's coming up. Bradley buzzer beater. How about that in the Big 12, you guys? And bracket buster in the SEC. Cinderella's dancing right now in the SEC, Coach.
There's always one. I don't know if they're going to get past the next one, but they're there for now.
We'll talk about that 15 seed in Ole Miss, but you know what, guys? Cinderella is certainly not as pretty as that guy on the end of the desk, is she?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
A lot of makeup. A lot of makeup. You lost me on that one.
Obi, Corey, back to you.
And I mean a lot of makeup.
And a lot of work to apply it.
3:53 to go. Buckner at the line here for the Tigers, trying to cut into a 10-point deficit. He's 81%. They'll dribble in the first one. 3 points so far tonight. And now Dame Sarr is back on for Duke, replacing Jimenez.
Clemson right now, one of their last 8 from the field. And that one was 3 minutes and 51 seconds ago. Duke's defense has locked in. They are on point, regardless as to the fact that they only have 7 healthy bodies that they're playing. The defense has still stood the test.
Great feed downstairs for Jimenez Boozer, an elite passer. And back up to 31-21. That Michigan game, I thought that was where he won the National Player of the Year. He had 7 assists in that.
7 assists, 18 points, continue to do the job on the glass, but more importantly, going up against another candidate in Jackson Lindenborg. And outplaying, Yax had a great first half, but you saw Cameron Boozer start to make so many winning plays, and it wasn't only his scoring, it was his defense as well.
Thomas with a nice drive inside. And foul on the play, going to wave that off.
We've got to mention the contribution of Nicholas Jimenez right now, with Malik Brown on the bench with 2 fouls. Jimenez coming in and making plays on both ends. It's normally Malik Brown who's doing the dirty work defensively, the ACC's Defensive Player of the Year. But he has taught these young fellas very well. Jimenez making sure he gets those heels outside of the restricted area and is there before the takeoff by Buckner, picking up the charge.
So 3 minutes to go before halftime. And Duke has the Clemson Tigers on their heels. The Boozer brothers are combining to come up big in this one. Evans sinks it. He's had a light first half, 4 points, but that puts Duke up by 12. Clemson's only made one of their last 9. And a timeout. 2:45 to go. Brad Barnell trying to find some answers. Duke on top. Phillips 66, Big 12 men's tournament bracket. Houston, by the way, up by 9 in their game at the moment against Kansas. Currently on ESPN. Arizona, the #1 there in the Big 12, and awaiting the winner of that one for the championship game coming up.
You heard Taylor mention it before coming out of the break. Jaden Bradley with a buzzer beater to send Arizona to the Big 12 final.
Buckner looking for the inbound pass, but on the entry a whistle and a foul against Duke. So that'll go on Jimenez. And that will put Davidson at the line. Last night starting in place, Carter Welling was lost to that torn ACL, had a big game, 17 points.
Going to get Jake Laline back into the lineup for RJ Godfrey, playing with those 2 fouls. So offense, defense substitution.
He makes 67%. He'll knock down #1. Davidson out of California, 6'10" senior. That was his first point tonight.
Will be one of the things we've seen out of Duke on the offensive end for the last few possessions. You're watching Cameron Boozer at the top of the key being a facilitator. When you don't have the depth, you can't afford to put him on the block constantly, time after time, and wear him down. Look at the contact that he's dealing with every time he goes into the painted area.
Evans way downtown. Boozer collects it. Back up blocked. Davidson in there. Here's Porter. Porter fires short. They can't get it in transition. Here's Jimenez again. Boozer backing all the way down there, and they'll wave off the basket, but a foul before that. You get really deep around that basket.
And again, you have to pick and choose your times as to when you send him into the post. Knowing that Malik Brown has 2 fouls, Patrick Gungba unavailable for the ACC tournament. You don't have much depth up front. So John Shire picking and choosing when he sends Boozer into the painted area and when he allows him to stay at the 3-point line at the top of the key and be a facilitator.
He makes 78%. Another one coming. Davidson fouled him. So 2 starters lost for the tournament. They're hoping that Gungba will be available in the upcoming NCAA tournament and maybe deep into the tournament. Caleb Foster.
Yes, Caleb Foster is holding on to hope that he will be able to return, but that would depend upon his team advancing at least into the second weekend Sweet 16 or even into the Final Four.
Since 7:03, look at the run for Duke. 14-4. Clemson has not hit a shot since the 7-minute mark. Can they end it here? No. On the follow away by Buckner. So Duke leading 35-22. Cam Boozer calling for it, working on Davidson. Draws the double. Trying to bull his way out of that. He'll draw a foul. Man, he takes punishment.
He really does, OB, and that is exhausting. He's a great conditioned athlete, but when you're talking about having to play 3 games in 3 days, this can start to wear on you. Even though you're the best player in the country, when you continuously get hit and you're going to the free throw line time and time again, he's drawn 6 fouls already in this first half. This can wear you down.
I thought last night, and you and I have seen a lot of Duke this year. Last night was the most animated I have seen him all season.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that their true leader, Caleb Foster at the point guard position, who has now been in the program for 3 years, isn't on the floor to be that voice. And Cameron Boozer, and he's normally always vocal, but I agree with you. I think he was a little more vocal last night, knowing that he had to be that voice that he usually is, and for Caleb Foster as well.
Grasping the circumstances fully with 2 key men out. So much demanded of him every time. Downstairs, Godfrey. Oh, he got position, couldn't hit it. They got it to him exactly where he needed to have it. He could not make the shot.
That's mental. You know when your team is struggling, even the easy ones become difficult. R.J. Godfrey missing a point-blank layup, knowing his team has been struggling on the offensive end.
Boozer again inside for 2. Kept on trucking. He is 13. 38-22. Duke starting to break away. Right before halftime. How often do you see it with the Duke Blue Devils? And there's great success over the years. Here's Buckner. 12 to get off a shot for the Tigers. Godfrey. Well, ran right into the traffic. Boozer collects it. He has 7 rebounds. Timeout. Shire and Duke. A little over 5 seconds splitting the game and shot clock. 38-22 Duke.
We talked about the versatility of Cameron Boozer, his ability to handle the basketball. 6'9", 250, sweeping over the top, finishing off the wrong leg. Great touch to get another bucket as he's working on a double-double in the first half. OB, 13.7 rebounds, 3 assists. Continues to fill up the stat sheet.
ACC Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year and the lead candidate for National Player of the Year. Those are all boxes checked by Cooper Flagg last season. #1 rebounder of the conference, 10-time conference Rookie of the Week. And for the Clemson Tigers, without a field goal since the 7:03 mark of this first half. Going stone cold. Duke defense has been the biggest reason why.
And we've said it time and time again this year. We come into these games saying, hey, this is a really good opportunity for the opponent. And Duke continues to impose its will each and every time.
#1 ranked defense in America. 8 to get off a shot. Amenya got it, a three-pointer. 41-22. Tigers chance for one last heave here, and that's an air ball. And Duke just continued to build and build and build on those last 7 minutes, and they walk into their locker room leading 41-22 as they close in on another championship game appearance as we go to Molly with John Shire.
Coach, what impact did Cam Boozer have on that first half?
I mean, he impacts the game in every way. You know, his leadership, his defending, scoring the ball too, and playing through contact. They have a great defense, and I thought we did a good job of just working through that.
How will you continue to be effective despite a lack of depth in the second half?
Well, I think we got enough depth. I think the fact of us finding just the 7 guys in that rotation a little bit, I have to do a better job with that, and I think all of our guys did a great job of just defending, rebounding, and it's led to really good things.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Really
Taylor.
good things like a 41-22 lead. Cam Boozer, by the way, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. I would call that impact. Taylor and the panel coming your way. Duke halfway to a championship.
Welcome to the Sargento Halftime Report.
It is a 19-point lead here at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. Duke over Clemson as they try to stay alive to defend their ACC championship. Taylor Tannenbaum alongside Luke Hancock, Joel Berry II, the Hall of Fame head coach Jim Boeheim, all of them national champions. Welcome into your Sargento Halftime Report. This is the #1 defense in the country in Duke, and they held Clemson without a field goal the final 7:44 of that first half, Luke.
Absolutely incredible. Their physicality is overwhelming right now, and Clemson is usually up for the task in terms of the physicality, length, athleticism. They're keeping those driving lanes covered up with all that length. I'm just really impressed by these guys.
Yeah, I think that I said it pregame. Clemson was going to have to make shots. There's no way that you're going to be able to keep up with Duke if you don't make shots, because it's inevitable. At some point, Cam Boozer is going to lead this offense to be able to manufacture some points on the board. And so that's what Clemson isn't doing. They have to be able to knock down shots from the perimeter.
If you don't make shots, they have no shot to win this game. And Boozer is just too much to handle in a man-to-man without throwing double teams at him. He's just going to find a way to get to the basket and score. I don't think you can stop him unless you double him.
The Boozer to Boozer connection looks darn good right now.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they've played basketball together their entire lives, literally came out the womb together. Great stat from our researcher, Kevin. Clemson has 22 points. The Boozer Bros have 22 combined points in the first half. All right, who will Duke face in this ACC championship if they go on to win? Maybe Clemson comes back in the second half. Will it be Miami? Will it be Virginia? 2 first-year head coaches. Closing seconds of the first half. Chance Mallory, steal at the buzzer.
Huge shot, stealing the momentum. You see how fired up he is.
He had 7 points in the first half off the bench. They led by 15 at the half. How about this freshman? 23 years old. He can do it all. Hits the 3 here. First team All-ACC, the Tank, as they call him. Under 8 to play for good measure, Malik Thomas. Virginia's 22-point win, its largest in an ACC tournament game since 1983. They're going to the title game. Will it be Duke? Will it be Clemson? We have buzzer beaters. We got bracket busters all over the country. That's coming up. We'll go around on your halftime report.
This halftime report is presented by Sargento Natural American Cheese. Welcome back to the Sargento Halftime Report.
We've got a legend in the building. No, I don't mean Coach Boeheim.
The best in the world right there. The Red Panda.
She's incredible.
Unbelievable.
Everybody in the Spectrum Center on their feet right now for this halftime performance.
As they should.
In the SEC, the 15-seed Ole Miss, Alabama, quarters, under 4 to play. Ole Miss up 4. Step back 3. Throws it down there. That's Aiden Sherrill. Alabama trying to stay in this one. Down 5 to the rack. Taylor Balboen lays it in. Eduardo Klafke misses the front end of this 1-and-1.
So you're saying there's a chance.
A 1-point game. Alabama with a chance. It's Sherrill. He's rejected by Patton Pinkins. Ole Miss holds on to win. 3 wins in 3 days.
Biggest upset since Miami of Ohio lost.
Uh-oh, Arkansas, Oklahoma will play them, whoever wins that game. Iowa State, Arizona, a thriller. Jaden Bradley, ballin', Joel.
That is a big-time bucket right there, and he's not done.
Tough.
Arizona up 3 with 30 seconds left to play. Taman Lipsey needs a bucket here. And he gets it. 17 seconds left on the clock. Not over yet. Arizona here doesn't use a timeout. Who else?
You don't need a timeout when you got Jaden Bradley. Bucket at the buzzer. This is the drama we love.
Arizona, the 1 seed, survives an Iowa State team that has ran through that tournament, 82-80. They get the winner of Kansas, Houston. Chris Sinak Jr., 15 big points for Houston in the first half. Darren Peterson leading the way for Kansas. He has 12, nearly half of the Jayhawks points. Right now, though, Houston up 8 at the break. Big Ten in Chicago. Wild one between Wisconsin and Illinois. John Blackwell cooking, Luke.
Absolutely. Him and Nick Boyd absolutely getting it done for 69 points. This one as good as it gets in the Big Ten.
Andrei Stojakovic with some late game action. Last play of the first half here.
Bonus time.
We go to overtime, and in overtime, Nick Boyd took over. He had 7 of his 38 in overtime. Yes, I said 38 points. Wisconsin wins 91-88 in OT. They advance. They got top-seeded Michigan in the semis. You can't defend that.
Step back. Hey, it was great defense first, and then Boozer says, well, I'll just walk you out here to three-point land.
Bye.
This halftime report is presented by Sargento Natural American Cheese.
Nowhere else you'd rather be than over on ACC Network after this game between Duke and Clemson. Tune in for Nothing But Net. We'll be with you live here from Spectrum Center to wrap up this day and preview the big championship game at the T. Rowe Price ACC Tournament. I mean, it doesn't get much better than Red Panda at halftime, does it?
Nothing better than her. You can't beat her. She's as good as it gets.
When you can impress Coach Boeheim, you know you're doing something right. Thanks for joining us. This has been your Sargento Halftime Report. OB, Corey, Molly have you for the second half.
All now. Welcome back to Champ Week on ESPN, presented by Principal. You're watching the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by T. Rowe Price. Red Panda in the house. That's always a special night, and it is. It's the semifinals of the ACC Tournament. Man, is she entertaining. She had Jim Boeheim absolutely mesmerized. It's like, if I could still recruit, man, if I could still go on the road to recruit, Red Panda is wearing orange. In Syracuse, Dave O'Brien, Corey Alexander, Molly McGrath. John Shire did a heck of a job there in the first half. He's had a great year. ACC Coach of the Year. A lot of people think he should be the National Coach of the Year. How come?
Because not only does he have his team playing the best defense in the country, but calling a timeout after getting a rebound, has 30 seconds left remaining in the game. He runs one of the best offensive sets I have seen this year in college basketball. You see, of course, the player of the year at the top of the key. First off, you come up, just a little tap by Dame Sarr to throw R.J. Godfrey off balance. And then a go screen by Isaiah Evans, the player from Nicholas Amenia. Look where R.J. Godfrey is. He's so confused as to where he should be defensively. It gives Amenia a wide open three to end the half of the Blue Devils and push the lead out to 19.
41-22. And for all the talk about the injuries and the depleted roster, Duke's up 19 heading into the second half.
And that's the thing. Coming into this game, you're thinking, okay, the depth of Clemson, they can compete with the Blue Devils here. We watched Duke blow them out at Cameron Indoor. But you're thinking, okay, Clemson rejuvenated. They have the depth on their side. They can come in and compete. There was no competition in the first half.
So Clemson with the basketball. Godfrey getting a touch here right away as he backs in and connects on that one as we bring in Molly McGrath.
Well, OB, Duke's Cam Boozer had 10 free throw attempts in that first half, and Clemson head coach Brad Brownell lamented that stat, said we have to limit his touches, make him uncomfortable, slow down his momentum. And he said on offense, we've been ice cold. We're not playing with poise. We need to relax. Our guards are going a little rogue on us. Too many one-on-ones. So he wants a better team effort in this second half, guys.
And, you know, Brad Brownell trying to answer that same question that all coaches have tried to answer this entire season. Davidson, there's no way you can make that post feed. If you look at the angle on that, and right in front of Brad Brownell is just at his wit's end right now, looking at his team, trying to get them to understand what Nick Davidson should have done on that possession. And you see the emotion of Brad Brownell, one of the best. When you talk about coaching this game on the sideline, just so disappointed to see the attempted post entry on that possession as you see Davidson going to exit the game to send in the freshman Chase Thompson, and the conversation between the two. He's telling him it is impossible to make that pass at that angle.
Caden Boozer at the line. Give him 11 points. He's had a nice night.
He really has. And a turnaround for him. His mom, Cece, coming over, giving us a fist bump earlier, excited about the way her shorter twin son has played in the first half.
Johnson will launch this. Not there. 6'4". It's not like he's, you know.
Yeah. I mean, his twin brother's 6'9", though, so. Now, Carmani is shorter than both of them. He's a baseball player, though.
Yep. Boozer to Boozer. Caden. Back out for Cam. Evans with a shot clock to 10. Ooh. Gets himself open. A pretty move to get free. It's Malik Brown with a rebound. He hits the deck. So does Caden Boozer. Up for Thompson. Here's Buckner. Got a good look. No. But Johnson with the rebound and heavy traffic there. He's fouled on the play. No basket. 43-24 Duke. And really trying to run away and hide, just as Virginia did in the first semifinal tonight.
And we saw Clemson shooting the basketball extremely well in their second round matchup. Shot it okay in their win over North Carolina yesterday, but they have not been able to get much at all going, especially from three. 2 of 15 from beyond the arc. And it's going to be difficult to beat the Blue Devils when you struggle to shoot the basketball.
Let's see what they're coming up with here. Butta Johnson was about to head to the line. Buckner was there as well. So this is, I think, determining a technical, perhaps. Yeah, they're going to have a technical here on Dame Sarr of Duke. So Johnson at the line.
You see John saying, what did he say to him?
I want it word for word. Dame, the freshman from Italy.
I'll tell you this, OB. John Shire never wants his players to get a technical foul. I understand that completely. But if there's anyone that knows a little bit about trash talking, it would be one John Shire. So he's not going to lament his player on that one because he understands what it's like between the four lines. And he is a pretty good trash talker in his own right. Talks trash to me all the time, so I know it very well.
He does during the shoot-arounds we always attend. You are always a willing victim. The swing here for Buckner. Thompson will give it up. Dylan Hunter trying to make a move on Cam Boozer. Dumps it downstairs. Godfrey will draw the foul. That was with 1.9 of the shot clock.
But here's the thing, OB. Now with Sarr getting that technical foul, that's counted as a personal foul. So he picks up his third foul with 17:40 remaining in this second half. And you're talking about a depleted roster right now, which is a normal rotation of 9 down to 7. So they really can't afford for foul trouble as much throughout this game. Malik Brown missed the majority of the first half with 2.
Godfrey 65% at the line. All ACC honorable mention for the senior. 9 points. He's out of Sewanee, Georgia. State of Georgia has been very good to the Clemson basketball program over the years. Knocks that down. So 43-27. Caden Boozer. Cam looking in. Brown up to set a screen. Caden traveling. So Duke with a turnover. His brother gave him the business a little bit after that. 7 turnovers.
I'm sure it's not their first time.
I don't think so. 17:20 to go. And a handoff for Johnson. Back out to the logo. Can Clemson get a solid run? They need one here. Buckner. Ace Buckner. The kick for Thompson. Godfrey beat everybody. He'll slam it down.
A little energy now from the Tigers. Some momentum off the technical foul. Godfrey with the finish. Playing strong. The Tigers will not go away. Brad Brownell will continue to keep his team fighting in this game.
Emenya, the LA kid, to his right, and a foul too. Nick Emenya, who had 29 minutes against Florida State at 9 points. The door really opening up for him at a key spot in the season, and he's kind of taking advantage.
He really has, and with the Blue Devils, it's next man up mentality. We've talked ad nauseum about the fact that they're missing 2 starters, so Emenya gets more minutes, and with more minutes, there's been much more production.
3-point play. He also got the 3rd foul on Hunter. Emenya out of the famous LA high school Harvard Westlake, which has produced a lot of athletes. Godfrey picks up the dribble. Here's Hunter suddenly in some foul trouble. 5 to get off a shot. Hunter takes a look at the clock. Driving on Boozer. Got it over him, but he can't hit. Another lockdown defensive play for Duke.
And one thing about the Blue Devils, they're not a team that really wants to play very fast anyway, so they can play at their pace and be methodical on the offensive end and save some energy.
Evans' pass never got there. Here's Godfrey again. Contact with Boozer to the paint. Left it short. Evans snatching a rebound.
Brad Brownell wants to continue to throw the basketball inside to Godfrey, and for the reason is so that they can try to get Boozer in foul trouble. That's the only way you can slow him down, is to get a couple fouls on him and force John Shire to take him out of the game.
Boozer wants the triple. Got it. You have to guard him out there.
41.5% during ACC play. Shooting the basketball extremely well from beyond the arc. When you look at him offensively, defensively, you cannot identify any weakness in his game.
A typical game he's having. That's bad news for anybody playing against Duke. 7 to shoot. Buckner on the spin move. Around and out. Another rebound for Boozer. You know, he has 9 rebounds in this game. Isaiah Evans.
And Isaiah Evans also doing a tremendous job sliding his feet. That is probably the biggest improvement in his game, is his ability to defend. Last season, at times, John Shire could not play him because he was maybe a liability defensively. He has stepped it up this year.
Boozer for Brown, lost it as he takes a tumble. Tigers looking for something good to happen. Buckner answers that as he hits a 3. 7 points for Ace Buckner. But 49-32 Duke. Clemson just unable to cut it down very much since halftime when they were down 19. Emenya. Cam Boozer again. Not this time.
Brad Brownell wants his team to push the pace to see if they can get an easy look before Duke is able to set their defense. Ace Buckner got a great look.
He can't believe he missed it. He's slapping the floor after that misfire. It's been that kind of night for Clemson. Only 32 points. And Duke closing in on a championship date with Virginia. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let our expertise round out yours. Boozer twins have combined for 27. Our experts at work, brought to you by Principal.
Well, Obi, we talk about Cameron Boozer and his elite resume all the time, but he has a sidekick that has been right there along the way. 3 Peach Jam championships, 4 state titles, a national championship. Between these guys, they have had success every stop of the way. And I mentioned earlier in the season, these guys have not lost their last game of the season. I can't remember ever. And so when you consider now you're looking at CC Boozer, of course, the boss of this show, and how excited she is to see Caden having success on this ACC level as he has throughout this game, you start to wonder, is it in the cards for this team to go on and win a national championship? These guys are not used to losing.
He'll pick up his first foul. Duke with only 2 losses all year.
You see CC schooling Carlos on the game right there. She's telling him how the game goes.
I might have said, did you teach Caden how to foul people like that? Because I didn't. Godfrey with a kick out. Waleed with a miss. 49-32. Emenya feeling it. Buries a triple. He's got 14 points tonight.
Obi, I remember last year at the McDonald's All-American game, and we have our meetings with the players as they come in. The 3 McDonald's All-Americans on the floor right now for the Blue Devils, the Boozer twins as well as Emenya, they hung out the entire week. They were already brothers, part of the brotherhood before they even stepped on campus in Durham.
5 to shoot for the Tigers. And on the double team, Davidson is fouled on the block with 12:41 to go. And Duke has built a 20-point lead. Caden Boozer just picked up his second. ACC Tournament Semifinal number 2. Virginia with an impressive win over Miami in the first of the semis. And awaiting the winner of this one in the championship game at 8:30 tomorrow night. Corey and Molly and I will be joined by the great Dickie V in the title game.
Excited to have Dickie V joining us, and I know he's excited to be here for another ACC Tournament Championship, which is a staple of the Dickie V resume.
Godfrey now with 14. Richards also began to call it an NCAA tournament game with Charles Barkley.
Yes, it'll be the first for him, correct?
Very first one after a legendary career, and a foul with 12:13 to play against the Tigers. Brad Brownell with a lot of looks like that tonight.
It's been a frustrating night for Brad Brownell because you come in with a game plan and you ask your team to just execute that game plan. If they do that, oftentimes things will work out for your benefit. I don't believe the Tigers have followed the game plan throughout this game. And Duke is, of course, a tremendous team. But I believe there's been a lot of self-inflicted wounds that the Tigers have placed upon themselves.
Good stop on Malik Brown, who got it where he wanted it, 52-34. Under 12 to play here in Charlotte. Davidson asking for the ball. They don't get it to him. Porter will launch. Got it. Then Porter now with 7.
Brad Brownell trying to encourage his team just to keep going, getting the lead down to 15. Once you get to that under 8 timeout, you would like to be at 10 or even into single digits, but you're going to have to get some stops.
Cam Boozer with a touch, working on Davidson. Knocks him down, and that'll go as an offensive foul. Knocks him down, and that'll go as an offensive foul. Knocks him down, and that'll go as an offensive foul. Knocks him down, and that'll go as an offensive foul.
You see that right arm extend as Cameron Boozer's attacking the baseline. Davis is doing a great job getting in defensive position. Can the Tigers make a run in Charlotte?
Another Cam Boozer night, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He has a lot of go-to moves. Here's another one.
He absolutely does. His go-to move is normally going to the block, overpowering his defenders. But when he went to attack R.J. Godfrey, he was met with some resistance. As you get a chance to see the numbers from Cameron Boozer throughout the season, that 41% from 3 truly stands out. But trying to attack Godfrey, Godfrey is able to meet him with physicality. So what does he do? You know what? No need to fight you in there. I can step out and show you my skill. OB, I never thought of it until I watched that replay. And Cameron Boozer reminds me of the greatest Blue Devil of all time, Christian Laettner. And anyone that wants to argue that, they go look at the resume. 2 national championships, but every year that Christian Laettner was in college, he was in the Final Four. He had a very similar play like that against us in 1992, and of course went on to win his 2nd national championship that year.
Cam Boozer will not win 2, but he's trying to win 1 in his 1 year in the college game. Shot clock to 5. And a bank shot up and in just in time by Buckner. Let's go to Molly.
Well, you're talking about Duke's Cam Boozer. He's stepping into a more vocal leadership role with Caleb Foster and Patrick Gungba out. He is the loudest voice in all of their team huddles during timeout, speaking as much as their coaching staff. And he challenges teammates saying, we got to be tougher. The game is not over yet. We're seeing so much maturity from this freshman.
Well, they tripled him up, and he got it to his brother, and he knocked it down.
But, OB, you see the confidence growing in Caden Boozer. He's been able to get to the rim, make a couple shots throughout this game, and that opens up opportunities from beyond the arc. Steps up and knocks down his first 3 of the ACC tournament.
Caden Boozer with 14. Big night for him. He came in averaging 7. They've needed some guys to step up with their injuries, and it's happening here in Charlotte as Davidson dribbles that one home. So the Tigers continue to hang around, but now under 10 minutes to play in this semifinal.
And this is around the time before the next media timeout. They need to try to get this to 10 or under to put some pressure on the Blue Devils. As Molly talked about in that huddle, Cameron Boozer letting his teammates know this game is not over. But can Clemson have a run in them late?
Evans airmails that one. He's not had a good shooting, though. He's been very good rebounding it. Buckner driving it. Hemenya and a foul. Buckner flat on his back. 9.5 minutes to play in this semi.
Cameron Boozer bringing the Blue Devils in, having a conversation, just being a leader, being vocal, and it's not something that you often see from freshmen. But this year's class of freshmen are not the normal freshmen. They are taking over leadership roles, of course, getting the job done on the floor and winning. There's a lot of conversation about, is this the greatest freshman class of all time? I don't know that it is or not, but it's absolutely one of them. But they have produced like no other freshman class before.
Time will tell, like about a decade in the NBA.
That's it. Well, I mean, you go back to the freshman class, I believe, of 1981, 82, where you've got Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing. That's a pretty good freshman class.
Yeah, I would say so. Jumper on the way, and that'll glance off the iron by Sarr, but a second chance. Evans keeps it alive, off the fake, and he'll head to the line to shoot 2. This one tightening up a little bit. It's gone from 20 down to 12 with 9 minutes to play.
But the problem there, R.J. Godfrey picks up his 4th foul. And so as Clemson is starting to make a run,
trying to pray that one away.
Just give it to someone else.
So Evans to shoot 2, 86% for Isaiah. Coming off a 32-point game last night. He certainly did more than his part in the 1-point victory that Houdini against FSU. 5 points tonight. But he does have the 10 rebounds. So you're getting him on the glass. You're getting a big scoring game out of Caden Boozer and Nick Hemenya. So guys are stepping up for Duke.
Yeah, and again, capable. But this only helps the Blue Devils as they get Patrick Gungba back in the NCAA tournament. Now you've got Evans being a better rebounder, take some of the pressure off of the bigs to come up with every board. You hopefully get Caleb Foster back. But with the vocal leadership of Boozer taking over more of that role, this team only gets better if they can get those guys back healthy.
Thompson lost it. So back to Duke. The Boozer brothers hooking up. A foul. Oh, it almost went in too. As Cam Boozer got the shot to the rim. And he'll head to the line. Well, coming up tonight on ACC Network and the ESPN app, it's the Nothing But Net crew having the complete breakdown of both the men's semis and the highlights, analysis, interviews with coaches and players. And they'll take a look at tomorrow's championship game. All to come.
Surprised that Diva Boeheim doesn't have makeup in a nice drink with the umbrella in it.
I just don't. I agree with Jim. This is not fair. He can't come back at you right now. He's helpless right there.
OB,
the only time in his life he's helpless.
If you only understood the abuse that I dealt with this gentleman on a daily basis working with him.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it is great having him with us. Just the wealth of knowledge. He asked me earlier today, who do you know that watches the most basketball on earth? And it was an easy answer. You. He watches everything.
I think he's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's arguing his point with me, and that's where I have to say, you know what, you're right. Let me just leave it alone. I'll walk away from it.
You're not going to win that one. Hunter lines up a triple. Yes. Tigers showing some life here. It's his first basket.
And it's a 12-point game. It's still within striking distance for the Tigers. But it starts on this end of the floor. Defensively, they're going to have to string together a couple of stops to put pressure on the Blue Devils.
Evans flips for Jimenez. Too strong, but Caden Boozer with the rebound and a second chance. Sarr will fire. Yeah! He buries one from the corner.
I'm just amazed at the maturity of Isaiah Evans as a sophomore. Last year, he takes that three. This year, he makes the extra pass to a teammate and gives them an opportunity to be successful, as Caden Boozer has here this evening as well.
Big 12 just chock full of great teams, and the #1 seed Arizona awaits the winner of Houston and Kansas. Certainly looks like it's going to be Houston, so that'll be #1 and #2. SEC's been a wonderful tournament. Florida and Vandy are in the semis tomorrow at 1. Ole Miss has been some story. They nip Alabama 80-79. They get into the semifinals. Isaiah Evans has not had a great scoring night. He's done some other things.
He absolutely has, OB. Driving the ball, kicking out to Nicholas Jimenez, trusting his teammate, but here's where it starts. Isaiah Evans a season ago shoots that basketball. Even though he's only 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 6 from beyond the arc, he's not thinking about himself. He's thinking about his team. Makes the right play, and it's successful for Dame Sarr.
It was a two-pointer, by the way. They did go over and take a look at it, but it was for 2. Hunter drives, stops, pops, short. Clemson, they need everything they can get right now with 7:22 to go. And down by 14. And Jimenez at the logo. Caden Boozer, 14-point game. Leaning in, no, but the follow by Sarr is good. Almost looked like a pass.
And with Brad Brownell wondering, why is there no one there to put a body on Sarr? How does he get a clean run to the rim with an easy putback?
Duke always seems to have an answer. Godfrey on the high post. Knocked away by Sarr. And out of play, Clemson will have it when we return to this semifinal with 6:48 left.
Now,
Virginia with a big 3 by Mallory right before halftime, sailing to a victory over Miami in the first semifinal. The kid from Charlottesville What an honor this is to put the Cavaliers into the championship game tomorrow night on ESPN against the winner of Clemson and Duke. We will have it for you at 8:30.
Obi, that's a great example of Chance will make them dance. That's exactly what it is. And Chance Mallory leading his team in effort today. He and Onienso off the bench were absolutely fantastic for Ryan Odom's team advancing to the ACC Tournament Championship.
Virginia looked terrific. Johnson with a pull-up, no. Rebound tapped right to Jimenez. And Duke getting closer and closer, 6.5 minutes away from joining Virginia tomorrow night. Jimenez steps back. The air ball picked up by Boozer, and he'll lay it in.
And Menya's going to say it was a pass. He's going to want an assist off of that one, OB. No way Nick Menya shoots an air ball that short, wide open.
Really? Boozer with 19.
Oh, by the way, Boozer extending his streak of 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists to every game this season, which is
incredibly consistent.
The first time it's happened this century.
Godfrey will draw the foul and in some pain as he gets up. Very physical player in his own right. 64-46. So tying for season high, Caden Boozer and Nick Menya, both with 14.
Next man up mentality. You don't have your full complement of your roster. You've got 2 guys out. That means 2 more players step up. The best game this season thus far for both Menya and Caden Boozer. And as freshmen, you can only imagine this type of experience is helping this team not only for tomorrow, but also moving forward into next week and still in pursuit of winning a national championship.
Duke has eyes on. They went to the Final Four last year in Cooper Flagg's only season. Not to mention Con Knipples. He's had a terrific rookie year in the NBA. And it fell just short of advancing to the national title game. So Duke with it, leading 64-48. Really clamping down defensively on the Clemson Tigers. Boozer. The shot clock to 6. Caden Boozer on the drive, getting into the paint. No. Hunter out for Davidson. He can hit that shot, but not this time. These 2 teams have met once back in February. Duke won it handily, 67-54. At the time, Clemson still had a chance to run Duke down for first place in the ACC. So really damaging loss for the Tigers. A bounce for Sarr. He's wide open, but no. Tigers will be safely into the NCAA tournament, regardless of tonight, with a record of 24-9. A win over North Carolina last night, also a win in this tournament over Wake Forest. The foul here will go on Malik Brown, his 3rd. So Godfrey back to the stripe.
See Brad Brownell talking to associate head coach Billy Donlin for Clemson, who John Shire watched growing up playing. So we get a look at bracketology by Joe Lunardi. 8 teams right now from the ACC projected in the field. SMU as an 11 seed, going to be sitting on some pins and needles when you consider watching Selection Sunday.
Stanford hoping a couple of things, maybe more than a couple, break their way.
There's Billy Donlin, and the conversation between John Shire, Billy Donlin, Chris Collins, of course, the head coach at Northwestern, former Duke great, all going to the same high school. And so when the three get together, there's an argument about who is the best player. And although John Shire says, hey, both those guys were good, but it's simply an argument about who was second because they know who was the best player.
Well, again, so much emanating off of what Cam Boozer does. He drew a double, triple team over there, and eventually they swing it around and find the open shooter. Happens to be his brother, who's had a big game with 16.
But what I love most about what Cam Boozer's done throughout this game is he hasn't settled. Even though they're allowing him to be open beyond three-point line, he hasn't settled for those shots. He's continued to put his head down, drive it to the rim, and finish.
Boozer spins that one home. He has 21. Nation's #6 scorer coming into this tournament at 23 a game, closing in on that. So it's just been another night's work for him as Porter sticks a triple. Get it back to it in 15. But running out of time as we approach 3 minutes to go in the semi. And if it stays like this, it'll be #1 against #2. Top seed against the #2 seed in the ACC championship game. Out it goes. He tried to feed Brown downstairs. 3:01 left. And Duke has been in command for a long time here tonight. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
Geico.
This is a great stat. Most 20-point double-doubles last 45 years, Duke freshman. Look at this list. Zion's on there with 10. This guy's got 12.
Obi, I was thinking to myself over the last few weeks of my all ACC ever team. But then when you think about that, you have to have a special category for one and dones. I believe the best one and done players out of the ACC all time all come from Duke. I'm trying to think of another one that did not play for the Blue Devils.
But Johnson will hit that, 68-56.
Point guard position, Kyrie Irving. Shooting guard position, R.J. Barrett. Small forward, Cooper Flag. At the 4, you got a battle. Zion or Cameron Boozer. All right, you go to the 5, Jahlil Okafor. ACC Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year. So when you look at what they've done, this guy is a cheat code.
You know, you mentioned Christian Laettner earlier as a comp. And when you see him just do that, like, you know what? I'm a little tired of going in there. I'm just going to step out and do this.
But he's conserving energy. That's the thing. It's so smart of him because every time he goes into the paint, he's got 3 or 4 different players waiting to hit him. So at different times during the game, John Shire does this. They give him the basketball 40 feet away from the rim, and he becomes a facilitator.
Now he'll drive it by Thompson. Can't finish. He goes for the tie-up, and they're going to call that a foul. He went for the ball. 1:44 to go. It'll be his 4th. You know, it's the age we live in with college basketball. You don't get to see great players play more than one season. But if you let your mind wander a little bit, start to imagine, what if a guy like Cam Boozer or Caleb Wilson with North Carolina were to play all 4 years like the old days? And I know I sound like I'm 150, but imagine the statistical success and the records that would fall at his feet, you know?
But then you will also consider, if that's the case, do those other guys play 4 years? Are the other guys still there? Because when you look at Cameron Boozer, Caden Boozer, and then you go back and you think of the time where Carlos Boozer was in college, he played alongside Jay Williams. he played alongside Chris Caraway.
Year after year.
Year after year. So now, do you put up those numbers because you're loaded with a team full of guys who are going to go on and be lottery picks? So you don't get as many opportunities as you do. Think about this alone. What if Cameron Boozer and Cooper Flagg are on the same team?
Oh, man. Wow. I would like to think about that, actually.
I tell you what, they would win. I don't care who they're playing. They would absolutely win. Both those guys are built very similar when you talk about their DNA. They are winners. Cooper Flagg, last year's ACC Player of the Year and National Player of the Year. Most likely, Cameron Boozer will do the same this year. But Cameron Boozer will try to pull off what Cooper was unable to do, even though they made it to the Final Four. Unable to win a national championship. John Shire hoping this year's version of the National Player of the Year will win his last game.
Cam Boozer, 24 points as he goes to the bench, 14 rebounds, and also 5 assists. So another complete game for the National Player of the Year candidate. He's the man to beat. Johnson tiptoeing through and a bucket. Under a minute to go, 71-59 and a timeout Clemson. So Duke closing in on the championship game and a date with Virginia. The closest that Clemson's been able to get in the second half is 12 points. Guys who were just talking about that list in their short Duke careers.
And when you look at this, again, the Wooden Award winners, and that separates you, but not listed and not talked about, Jason Tatum. A foot injury hampered him at the beginning of the year, but by the time they got to the ACC tournament, he was the Jason Tatum that we knew he was going to be at the NBA level. Marvin Bagley, Jabari Parker. The list goes on and on and on, like trying to put together 3 teams for the Blue Devils of just their one and dones alone is a difficult task.
It is.
I can't believe I forgot about Paolo Banchero, the #1 pick in the 2022 draft.
And Menyon inbound. Pressure here from the Tigers. And Menyon up for Sarr. Caden Boozer to attack it. Rebound tip controlled by Clemson. The pull-up pop by Butter Johnson is too strong. Porter with the rebound, sticks it back up and in. And another timeout Clemson as they get within 10. 38.7 to go.
And Brad Brownell now coaching for the future. Clemson's season will continue right now. And again, crazier things have happened. However, with a 10-point lead, going to be difficult to win this game. But these are coaching moments for Brad Brownell that helps his team once they get into the NCAA tournament next week.
So the Duke Blue Devils about to pick up their 31st win of the season against just 2 defeats. And doing this without 2 starters, Caleb Foster, Patrick Gungba. A ball handling veteran presence and a big man who can also pass it. And yet here they are, just seconds away from a championship date for the 2nd year in a row in the ACC tournament.
And the 2nd year in a row without 2 of their stars.
Last year was Malik Brown and Cooper Flagg. And yet they won it anyway. Caden Boozer across. And under 30 seconds in the semi.
And John Shire telling his team, let's play. They're not going to hold it and get a shot clock violation. They're going to get a shot up.
Evans. 7 to get off the shot. A lot of iron. Tipped up and in by Brown. His first basket. That brings the crowd up in a big way. Hunter, an air ball, and that'll be it. Duke will waltz into the championship game. They win it 73-61. Despite a depleted roster, they're in the final against Virginia.
Duke has been the class of the ACC all season long, really for the last 2 seasons. And an opportunity to finish it off. But Virginia playing great basketball. Virginia with only 1 loss in their last 14 games. And that would be to the Blue Devils on February the 28th. Virginia will be looking to avenge that loss tomorrow night.
Our championship game is set in the ACC tournament here in Charlotte, North Carolina. #1 Duke, #1 in the country as well, against the #2 seed, the Virginia Cavaliers. That feels right with the seasons they have both had to play for the title in the Atlantic Coast Conference. So we look forward to that. At 8:30 tomorrow night, the Hall of Famer Dick Vitale will join us here at courtside. Molly with Cam Boozer.
Cam, how has this team continued to play at a high level despite the fact that you're missing 2 of your starters?
Yeah, I mean, we came to this weekend saying no excuses. You know, we know we're down 2 guys. Everyone thinks we're vulnerable, but we said screw all that. We're coming here to win. That's what we're doing so far.
With those guys out, how have you elevated your voice as a vocal leader on this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always been a vocal leader, but, you know, just everyone has to do a little more. One more loose ball, get 1 more rebound, and I think we're doing that so far, but we got to continue to do it going forward.
I know this team has their eye on a national championship, but how important is it to get an ACC tournament title here tomorrow?
I mean, we're throwing our all into it tomorrow, so we came here to win. That's what we're going to do tomorrow, and, yeah, it means everything to us tomorrow.
Congrats on the win, Cam.
Yep, thank you.
They're waiting on Cam to put the sticker up there to the championship game. 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists for the ACC Player of the Year. Big tournament continuing. It's the Big West semifinal coming up. From Monty McGrath, Corey Alexander, and our crew, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for joining us. Be with us for the championship right now. Roxy Bernstein and Corey Williams at the Big West tournament, guys.